So I'm here at the National Memorial Museum here in Branson, Missouri. These are 500-pound bombs. These bombs could reach 1.4 million pounds per square inch in temperatures of 3,000 to 4,500 degrees. Here we have a pump organ. This was carried in Europe during World War II. The chaplain and his assistant would set this up in the field and do services for the soldiers. Pretty cool. If we come along this way, we have a photograph from the USS Virginia. The Idaho fire was almost point blank during the war. These are traditional outfits. This uniform was worn by Ken McClure. He was a fighter pilot during World War II flying combat missions. This says the Battle of the High Seas. It says the United States lost 5 aircraft carriers, 6 escort carriers, 71 destroyers, 10 cruisers, 4 battleships, and 52 submarines. This was a helmet used and saved in the film Saving Private Ryan. This is a World War II mail letter bag. This is a World War II scarf. This here is the World War II British No. 4 Mark I. This model was used extensively during World War II. About 2 million were produced, but none were built at Enfield. Instead, they were built at Long Branch in Canada and at Savage Stevens. This rifle has a U.S. property stamp on it. Interesting. So they were not built in the U.S., but they're considered U.S. Fallen, greetings to the men who serve today. From your comrades. Let's see some of the other items we have here. This is a bazooka, M6A1 bazooka. Wow. This is a mask face launcher rocket. It says use this mask for protecting the face. Okay. This is a U.S. Navy flotation belt, mainly used by submariners, known as a D-Day belt or an invasion flotation belt. Okay. So interesting. You can kind of see there how the air would have been blown up, basically like a modern day water wing. This is a World War II mosquito head net. And this is a World War II pocket grenade pouch. Wow, and this is a World War III pocket grenade pouch. So many pieces of history here. Let's take a look at this here. Got some pigeons. It says, pigeons were equipped with tiny aluminum cameras used by both sides during World War II to photograph areas too dangerous and heavily fortified to be flown over with planes. Pigeons also took photos of enemy fleets, troops, and targets for air attacks. The small cameras were activated by air rushing through a rubber ball. Pigeon in airborne vest. The vest bears the warning, do not retain pigeon in vest in excess of 6 hours. During a drop, the pigeon in the vest was slung like an ordinary piece of equipment or most commonly tucked under an arm. Wow. Pigeons were trained to fly at night and also served with paratroopers and on submarines. Wow. That is so interesting. Pigeon prisoners of war. The British developed a new army pigeon service special section using birds of prey. It had its own crack force of falcons with the aim of knocking down pigeons, returning with secret messages to Nazi-held territories. This was a great success with the flying falcons, interceding countless messages. At least 2 of the captured Nazi pigeons survived their attack by the falcons and were made prisoners of war. An intelligence officer's report stated, both birds are now prisoners of war, working hard at breeding. English pigeons. It is believed these pigeons refused to fly back to Germany after the war. Wow. Wow, that is so interesting. It says the Nazis also used homing pigeons to their advantage during World War II. The pigeons were used by the Gestapo and German army in both Germany and occupied countries. Nazi pigeons were believed to be dropped off in baskets by high-speed E-boats, submarines, and by parachute to enemy spies in England and other countries. Here it says, during World War II, there were more than 33,000 soldiers and 150 officers of the United States Pigeon Service who were responsible for the care of over 54,000 military pigeons. These servicemen were sometimes referred to as pigeoneers. Wow, that is so interesting. G.I. Joe is credited with making the most outstanding flight by a U.S. Army pigeon during World War II. The British 56th Brigade entered the city of Italy on October 18, 1943, hours ahead of a schedule because of German early retreat. The U.S. Air Support Command was scheduled to bomb the city and was unaware that the British forces had already entered it. All attempts to cancel the bombings of the city made by radio and other means of communication had failed. Pigeon G.I. Joe was released with the important message to cancel the bombing. He flew 20 miles back to the U.S. Air Support Command base in 20 minutes and arrived just as the planes were warming up to take off. If he had arrived a few minutes later, it is estimated that over 1,000 British allies and many civilians would have been killed. Wow. After the war, G.I. Joe received the Dickon Medal for gallantry from the Mayor of London, becoming the only bird or animal from the United States to receive this high award. Wow, that is so interesting. This is so cool about the pigeons. I didn't realize there was all this here. This is a certificate of service, Army Pigeon Service Agency. Collapsible air pigeon container. This container was dropped with a small bright yellow parachute. Wow. I didn't realize the pigeons were that involved in the war. So pigeons and the war. I hope you guys enjoyed that quick little episode.